Welcome, this is your Option Monster Volatility Sonar Report. From the floor of the CBOE, I'm Jamie Tyrrell of Group 1 Trading. Well, we had our settlement today. The March VIX options settled today, and the future settled 40.62, 40.62. Now the settlement happens, it's actually determined in the S&P 500 pit, not in the VIX pit. They take all of the opening orders sent into the CBOE system before the open. They match up buyers and sellers at an opening price. They take all of those prices on every April out-of-the-money option, and they throw that into the VIX calculation, and that's where we get our print from. Usually you can see hundreds of thousands of contracts trade on the open in the S&P 500, people who are interested in putting in orders against the VIX print. Today there was a lot less. Orders went up a little bit closer to the bid. There was a seller, and the April 400 puts went up for 10 cents today. They went up 5,000 times. Contrast that with last month, and we had the March 200 puts trading for 10 cents. So things traded a little bit lower, a little closer to the bid side of the calculation. That's why we came out 40.62. Cash was opened up around the low 41 range. So that's what we saw in the print today. In yesterday's trading, there were a lot of sellers of March options heading into the close. People were pounding one upside line at a time down to no bid. First the 50s, they hit the nickel bid. Then the 47.5s, then the 45s. The 45s traded for a nickel right before the close. The 42.5s traded for 10 cents right before the close. And the VIX future went out into the evening pinned right around 40. We got our settlement 40.62, and that's where we're going from there. Now, the most interesting thing about yesterday was the extremely large amount of volume we had in the back month trading. Yesterday, 376,000 VIX contracts traded. That's one of our top 10 all-time days. And coming on the day of expiration, you'd expect to see a ton of March volume, and that's not what we saw at all. We saw two big butterflies going up. We touched on one early in the day yesterday, the May 35, 45, 55 call butterfly. It traded for about $2.50. When we spoke yesterday, 20,000 had traded, 35,000 total traded on the day, and somebody bought the same June butterfly, the June 35, 45, 55 call butterfly. They paid $2.07 for it. They bought 35,000. So between those two trades, that's 280,000 VIX options. That's the vast majority of our volume from yesterday. Now this fly is, the buyer of this fly could possibly be someone who sees the VIX staying in the 40 range. Their maximum profit on that June fly is $8 if the June VIX settles 45. The maximum they can lose is outside of that 35 and 55 band, where they lose $2. A buyer might have seen the market activity over the last month or so and seen the giant sell-off of more than 10% that we saw that only barely touched the VIX up to 50, and then the big rally, and we've only gone down towards 40. So we've been in a range for the last month that might make a play like this attractive for that investor. There's obviously an investor who wanted to sell the trade as well, and that's why they traded on those prices. But a lot of volume in the VIX pit yesterday. Today it's been a little bit slower. The one thing we have going is people are still coming and bidding that Mayfly. We've had 6,000 more Mayflies trade, which is 24,000 contracts. When you buy that Mayfly, you're buying the 35s, the 55s. You're selling two of the 45s, and you're making a bet that the VIX is going to settle in between your outside strikes. So that's what we've had going in the VIX pit today. Settlement 40.62, tons of butterflies trading. Jamie Tyrrell, Group 1 with Option Monster.
Hey Jamie, thanks. Folks, if you watch Jamie every day talk about the VIX and the volatilities, and you're wondering, boy, I'd like to take advantage of some of that information, I just am sort of new to options and so forth, what better way to do it, folks, than with something like a paper trade? By the way, a paper trade is not not any capital commitment. In fact, our sister company, TradeMonster, you can open a paper trading account without even funding the account. So all you got to do is go to TradeMonster.com, you fill out just your name and so forth, bang, you're able to trade on paper. It's not real capital you're putting on the line, but then take a look at all these different strategies. I mean, you can do covered calls, you can do straddles, you can do strangles, you can do all these different strategies, and it's got a tutorial built into each one that you can actually learn. Again, always learn before you commit your capital to it. I'm Dr. J from OptionMonster.com. Remember, our sister company TradeMonster and that paper trading account, make sure you open an account and try it out.